day 78 of my carnivore life, and I'm doing great because I have some click moments, and I think that's the most important part in every journey, to have a little bit of click moments to understand yourself better and reflect yourself better, right? And I can tell you what I realized today. It was actually in the morning. It was like an epiphany moment. It was when I'm not pressured, when I don't have expectations or others have expectations on me, and if these things don't apply, I work amazing. I work amazing in my relationship, in my job, in my journeys to lose weight. As soon as somebody is putting pressure on me, even if it's myself, or have expectations, and this you need to reach your goal things, which also comes from myself most of the time, I start going in the completely wrong direction, because that's really triggering me to not work proper. And I had this bam moment which I realized, because I talked about it yesterday. And on my journey on carnivore, as soon as I felt pressure from others putting pressure on me as well, from a very strict variation, I have to do this because if I don't, then something bad is gonna happen, these kind of things. And then putting myself pressure on myself, I cannot do this, this is bad for you, blah blah. As soon as this happened, I went overboard. I just went crazy. My addiction started, my bad habits started, and all these kind of things. And then I realized that everything I do in life actually applies to this rule. And it's really fascinating, because before I went to work in IT right now, I was a photographer. And I was a student, I was at the university, and I was just doing it for fun. I was doing this for fun, not for money. I photographed some people, some, of my friends. It was just fun all the time. I said, don't have any expectation that the pictures are gonna be good. I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just doing it for fun. And everybody was happy, even if nothing came out of it. Nobody had, expecting something out of me, and not even I did, because it was fun. As soon as I did this, a lot of people came, a lot of top models, a lot of famous people, a lot of influencers who have now millions of followers, a lot of people, who have a name, and a lot of magazines. I worked also for the Vogue. So a lot of things happen, and it was still fun because nobody had expectations. They just wanted me for me and my creativity and my freedom. I had my freedom because I never let them pay for what I'm doing. That's the most important part. I never let anybody pay. I said, you don't have to pay me. You just, I just need a place to crash. I don't care where. I just need, a place to be, and some food and these kind of things, and just make something fun out of it. And you pay for every expenses I would have, with the shooting. But everything else, I don't care. If you don't pay me, you don't have expectations, and you don't feel entitled to my creativity. So. And I know it sounds for some people crazy, but that was how I worked, because I rather had, working as a waitress and got money for that because I didn't care, than people, limiting my creativity in things I'm just passionate about. And that was the problem. As soon as this narrative changed, and I start getting paid for my services, and I said, okay, you know what, I cannot handle that much amount of work, or this fun work, without having too less money to live. So I need to get paid now for it, and I need to take jobs for photography and these kind of things. It started to fuck me up. It just killed my creativity completely. I was just so done with people always feeling entitled to my things that I'm creating because they pay me for. And that's when I stopped photography, and I was really, really good at it. And it was just because I was never a technician, or people, a person who thinks of, is the perfect lighting, or how do you do this? I just photographed the people, and I was able to, have a contact with people, just bringing their inside out and just showing it into pictures. And that was what I was based on. But as soon as you have a nagging little, leader behind you telling you, but you have to do it like this, and there is more light, and you need this, As soon as this happened, I was just, fuck off, that's stupid what you're saying, it's just stupid, you know, this person looks totally fake, I don't want to photograph that, it's just fake. I want to, you know, put the person, his natural habits and emotions out. And that's where all these things went really backwards. Then when I was working in an advertising company and these kind of things, I was doing marketing, and then I had an idea for an app. And these kind of things happen, that I presented this idea of this app when I started my own advertising company, just, you know, to do something else, because my company was breaking down, the people were fighting, and I just didn't want to handle this anymore. So I started my own company with a colleague, and we just went to it was like, it's called Playground. So you actually, there are a lot of people having ideas, just presenting them, and they can work together on this idea of one person, and then they can win something. And that what happened to me. I didn't want to present my idea at all, but my friend knew that I had this idea, and she was pushing me out when they asked. She was really pushing me when they asked, does somebody else want to present an idea for the competition? And she just pushed me, and I was like standing there, and he was looking at me, and he said, you want to present something? And I said, no, but it seems like I have to. And that's when I presented the idea, and something I didn't expect, 8 people joined this idea, and they were like obsessing with my idea. And I was like, okay, great. Great that you want to, you know, work with me, because it was based on an app which is similar to Instagram and I forgot the name. It doesn't matter. It's about restaurants and where you can buy products and these kind of things, but actually supporting the local community and the local business owners. So it was based a little bit like Pinterest, and it has these location-based services. And I don't want to talk about it because it was a tough time. And when I started this and all these people joined, it was just so much fun. It was so fun. We were sitting there until 6 in the morning and just creating, being creative, you know, brainstorming together, making stuff. And you know, we got famous for that, because we were the group that, you know, randomly got together, and we were just, you know, being so inspiring and just forcing things. And all the mentors, which are CEOs in, you know, here in my area, they, you know, try to break us down. But that is one thing I'm really good at. I can argue. I can argue with people in a very, you know, eye level. And as soon as they started, you know, trying to kick us down and that's not gonna work because of this, I'm always being very calm, because I'm, you know, that's actually what I'm doing right now. I, you know, try just to be calm when people go crazy and these kind of things. I just explain the things over and over in different kind of variations until they get it. And that was actually our superpower, because all these mentors who were skeptic about our idea or my idea, then they started being fans, and then they started to supporting us. And it was so fun, because these people I convinced, which were so negative and critical, they started really, you know, forcing and helping us to go further, and they gave us contacts and these kind of things. So it was just a wave that was happening after it. And we won this competition. You know, we had some tickets. We sold these tickets to actually be able to make this prototype, because nobody of us was a software developer at the time. And we just had, you know, people, really different kind of things they were doing. So we went to every competition, we sold everything, we won. We once won even a ski. And then we sold it for 700 euros, and that's how we financed some features then in the app and these kind of things. And everything we could do ourselves, we learned it, and then we just did it. So, and we went really from door to door, explained what we're doing. Once we have a whole weekend just going from door to door like old school and telling, you know, do you have some time? I just want to show you something. It's for free. You don't have to pay for it. It's just, you know, we are trying to make a name out of it, and it will always be for free. It was just, you know, local based advertising and these kind of things. So it would be completely free for every user. And, you know, this thing just exploded in a good way. Everybody wanted to have it. Everybody was supporting us. All the local people knew us. They started giving us free stuff to give it to other people. So it was just being bam. It was just being amazing. More people joined. I had, you know, some switches and these kind of things. At some point, we didn't got the funding we needed to continue, so that everybody could work actually and just quit their, what they're doing, their studies and these kind of things. And we didn't get the funding because people didn't believe in us. And after a while, what happened was that all left. All of my team colleagues, besides 2 at the time, they left because they moved away with their families. They started a family, they started new jobs. One of them started to study abroad. So it was just falling apart. And then I found new people. So with the 2, I found 3 new people, which were actual developers. So we started this again, and I created this again. Everybody was inspiring, motivating. We started over and over. We had then some investors. We had some money left. It was not that much at the time, but we had enough to continue like we did. And then these 3 developers I required, how do you say, who joined us. The thing that happened is that they had another idea that they worked on, because that's how I found them, and I convinced them, to work also on our stuff, and they had this parallel world. And I honestly was believing more in their product, and I wanted to force their product. And I said, you know what, you're putting so much energy into our product, and I know it's stupid for me to say that, but I know that your product is gonna blow off if you just continue that, but it's not my passion. So I think you should really go that way, but I cannot support you with that because it's just not my thing. It's about, big corporate companies and an app for that. So sorry. And then they listened, thankfully for me. Now this thing is really blown off. And it's really working amazing for them. They're having enough money and fundings and investors, so I'm happy. I have a good instinct for these kind of things, what really blows off and what people actually, are capable of and their talents. So I'm really happy for that. I actually should be a talent scout, I think. And they went this direction, and we had like this breakdown, just, everybody's doing their own things, and I just lost the passion for it because it was just getting too tough. And then at one point I got to know a person at the work I was doing at the time, startup company. It was Accelerator. It's supporting from the ESA. It's a European Space Agency, so it's a big thing. You support startups who invent things also for the space agency. So it's cool. And I worked there a short period of time, and one of the startups being there was, interacting with me, and we talked about it, and they recognized me from a lot of events. And so that's when all these things started and go to hell, actually, because I created a merge between 3 startups which were doing 3 different things, but I found a concept which made us all work together, and that's when we created our own company all together. And we got a funding for over 700,000 euros as then 10 people. It was 10 at the time, but we were 14 people at the end, and all of them basically, besides 3 people, were developers. So I had the best team you can imagine. I had the most genius people surrounding me. One was actually very good in finances, one was one of the best app developers, the third one was one of the best AI developers at the time. So we created really a crazy platform. And while we are creating this product, I had 2 colleagues which were CEOs like I am. So we shared the CEO position to 3 people. And there the problem started because they had completely different views on the things. And that was before ChatGPT and these kind of things. And I said, you know what? They were so focused on my product, and I say, I don't believe in my own product. Why? Because I know that maybe sometime it will be a good thing, but I have the feeling that something's not right, and I cannot explain it even if it's my own product. I think that the market is not there yet. And I said, I think really we have to focus on the AI part. And that was before Corona at the time. And the funny part is, what happened is this ChatGPT happened. So if we would have focused on that, it would blew off. And it's still, they did their job then in the end. But what then also happened is that Corona happened after I quit and told them to. So at first thing, I just stopped, feeling inspired because they didn't listen to me. And at the same time, I just stopped having these kind of goals in life because I reached everything. You know, when I went to the Forbes list 30 under 30, the most influenced people under 30 at the time, it was like my last check. And it sounds, you know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I did hard work for this shit. You know, I did really hard work. And I was there. I had everything. You can imagine. But I was not happy. I was actually so unhappy because I lost my to-do list. I lost the list that I wanted to achieve in life because I reached it. And that was the bad thing that happened to me. And there are actually some theories that MS also can be triggered by the lack of stress, and not only the stress, because lack of stress can also cause stress. And that's what actually a little bit happened to me. And maybe that is from Dr. Garber, your book, Your Body Says No. So if you have troubles and have some health issues, read the book. It's really it's not the best book, I think, but it's really interesting, especially when you have cancer or these kind of things. It's really a good book to read. But there are just theories how these, things happen, and the stress in the body and these kind of things. So for me, I realized after reading this book that at this moment I really had the lack of missing stress, because I was always like 120% going to all these events, presenting, fighting, and now I had everything. I didn't have to fight anymore. I had everything. I had the money, I had the team, I had everything, but something didn't feel right to me. And that was actually the point where I started having these issues and just break down in the middle of the street. I couldn't walk, and the problems with the doctors started. They didn't know what is happening, and then suddenly, it feels like a snake is crawling through my leg. I honestly wanted to cut my leg off. It's just just thinking about it makes me sick. It was really going so bad, and they were giving me the wrong medication, so it makes everything worse, because they were thinking I have other Lyme disease and these kind of things, and I didn't. So after, having been misdiagnosed so many times and having the wrong medication, the medication started to mess also with everything. So I suddenly I burned my hands because the cold water, the hot water was feeling cold on my hands, and I was just burning, and I didn't realize it. I couldn't feel my whole body. You could scratch me and everything. I couldn't feel it. And at the time I was in a relationship with one of my CEOs. So we were 3 CEOs, and one of the guy was one of my best friends at the time, and we said, let's try just dating. But it never worked out because we just didn't click, and I knew that, and I tried to talk to him about it, but he just didn't want to listen. And I said, it's a bad idea. I just don't think that we are working out. And you see it, I see it. I don't know why you want to force this. I just, I'm capable of being friends and just, being cool with each other and everything, but he wasn't. So he started giving me a very, very hard time. And I was struggling with my health. I was struggling with everything, with my work and being responsible for 14 employees. It started just going completely in the wrong direction. And I was just really overwhelmed with everything. And then I went to rehabilitation just to even be capable of walking. And he was putting me into a stress situation. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to break up. I'm sorry. And he didn't understand this. And at the same time, there was one colleague of mine. He was one of the mentors, and he realized, and he was writing me because of something else. And then he asked where I am, because I just disappeared, from all the events. And I said, you know what, I didn't talk about it, but I'm in a rehabilitation center. We started talking, and he had a heart attack actually. And he's not even, more old than I am, just a few years. And I said, whoa. And that's how we bonded over these health issues we had. And he was one of the people who actually then visited me and really had the mentality I needed. He didn't treat me like I'm sick. He treated me like somebody, we can do it together. And that's what I needed. But my boyfriend, which were actually already broken up, he thought, and he said that I was always with this guy and these kind of things. And I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know where this is coming from. I am not, I showed him even the messages and everything. And I said, you're going so in this, your ego part, and it is so wrong what you're doing right now. I have so much more troubles to fix, and I don't know why you're doing this. And he was getting really crazy and out of control. And I had also shares on his company, which is actually a very famous iced tea here now in my country. So I did have shares also on his company because I worked a lot for helping him out with these kind of things, just for free, for nothing. He didn't pay me for that. I just got shares. And I did pay even so he can afford this. And I also sold him for basically nothing my car. So he was able to transport it, and I was really a supporting girlfriend. So he was really, I just can't imagine. I didn't talk about this now for years. And he gave me, he wrote me at the time, we should split up the company parts and these kind of things. It's just not working out. I said, I'm totally agree. And he said, can you give me back my shares? I'm just giving you some of the money back, and then we're just done. Is it okay? And I was stupid. I said, yeah, of course, because I trusted this person, and I am such a good person with these kind of things. And I said, good. I expected him to give me my company back, my app and my things, so I just give him his company and his things back without any troubles. But that's not what happens. So I gave him back my shares and everything. He had everything in writing. And then I said, you know what, can we do the same thing please with my app? And he said, no, you have to pay like 20, 30, what did he want? I think he wanted 30,000 euros. And I said, are you fucking crazy? That's my app. I created it from the ground. I even studied then software development to be able to, continue and to talk to my developers and these kind of things. That's why I, next to all of this bullshit and being a CEO, being responsible for 14 people, even studied, next to this. So I did, and I'm a mom, I'm a single mom. So I did really going through hell for this. And then I started having these health issues, and now you're giving me a hard time. Are you fucking insane? And that's when, everything, the hell break loose, because I had a friend at the time, thankfully, he's one of, a partner in a lawyer company. And he said, you know what, I know what you're going through. I'm going to help you for free. So that's basically what helped me in the end, because 2 years he was working for free, and you know how expensive lawyers are, and he was just writing. But they interpreted this as, a sign of war, because they had to pay then their lawyers. And I say, you are stupid. Why are you doing this? I don't pay for my lawyer. We can do this for years. Just give me back my company. What is the hell wrong with you? But he was just his ego. It was just his ego that he wanted to destroy me, even if I was already on the floor. That's why I don't trust people. That's exactly why I don't trust people. And he was not one of the toxic, bad people. He was one of the good guys. And every good person can go really fucked up when they're putting into a position they believe they're in the right. And he wasn't. He just wasn't. So, and after all of this shit, he was, getting his ways and these kind of things. And my lawyer did one mistake. He had a little sentence which said, and I was going nuts when I saw that he sent it to them, and he said, you have to shut down everything. You are not allowed to use the app anymore. And that was the biggest mistake, because what they did, it was a free pass to shut my whole app down with all the users we required. At the time we did acquire over 3,000 active people. We did have 50 and more shops and these kind of things in the app, and creating this, and was going up and up and up. And they actually shut everything down for months. So everybody who knows, when you have an app and it's not working, you're gonna delete it. And that's actually what happened. So my lawyer did the mistake writing this, and they just used this to shut this thing down. And then it was just done. It was just done. It was dying. It was that. There are no chances to do anything. And people started, losing the trust in us and these kind of things. And I wasn't able, with my health issues, I was in a hospital to call all these people and explain what is happening. So it was horrible. And it made me even worse with my MS. It was just getting worse and worse. I forgot even my name and these kind of things, and my ability to speak and to walk and these kind of things. I didn't know what is going to happen, and I was just so done. And I just didn't want to give up. I just didn't want to give him everything. So I said to my lawyer, just fight back. And at some point, a friend of mine got involved, and he started, mediations with us. So he put us on a table so we can speak the first time after 2 years. And, I was just done. I was just done. I was sitting there and crying, and I said, I'm so done. Why can't you understand this? I'm done. My health issues, I don't understand why you're not giving me back something. Even if it's now dead, it's dead. You cannot do anything with it, you know? It's just a code, it's just an app. It's even out of the app stores and these kind of things because you deleted everything. I can't even develop it myself because I'm not capable of, even if I study software development, I'm not a good software developer at all. So I just do know the basics, and I can talk to people and I know how things work and learn fast, but that's it. I cannot do anything with it. Just give it back for me, for my own personal thing, to have it back. What are you going to do with it anyway, you know? And he was like, yeah, no, it's just he doesn't want to give it to me because, you know, his guys developed it. And I say, it's not your guys, it were our guys, and we created this thing. So but it is just based on my whole work, and you did nothing, you just developed it further, but the whole thing was based on my engagement and my presentations and traveling and the expenses I put into this. So in the end, we agreed. I had to pay a little bit. He bought one of my shares, so I got a little bit out because my shares were sold to one of our colleagues, so he's now working for this company. I got outpaid. It was just so little, you cannot even believe it. And what people don't understand, if you're self-employed, you put all the money back into the company. So I actually worked with maybe 700 euros a month, and everything else we put back in the company, and we didn't, you know, use the money for us. And that was a big mistake So I was actually very getting poor because all the money I put and I had at the time, I put into developing my companies. So I was just going so bad. It was just, and then that's why I just said, I'm so done with this, being self-employed, having these responsibilities and these kind of things. And that's when what I'm saying, you know, when somebody putting pressure on you, when it starts to go in the right direction, where you got a lot of money and fame and these kind of things, that's why I'm not interested in this. That's what people, you know, don't understand, that being a YouTuber would never be a goal for me, never ever, because I got through this shit, you know, I got through this being self-employed, having the responsibilities, being, you know, being responsible for, you know, entertainment and these kind of things, or for people. It's just not my thing. That's why I work now in a big corporate company, because it gives me safety. I have the money now. I have, you know, I have my company car. They're doing everything for me. I don't have to take care of these kind of things. And I'm actually in a very luxury position where people, until a few days ago, did not expect out of me anything, because my position is a very luxury one, and I do have a lot of freedom because I have a lot of teams, and you know, they all have their own thing, so I can just switch and match a little bit what I'm doing, and I'm having a lot of freedom what I'm doing. And I can develop some, you know, power apps with Microsoft. I work also with the AI part of Copilot for Microsoft. I do also, you know, basic things like just writing down lists and these kind of things. So I do a lot of various things just because I created my own space, you know, and I was able to. But a few days ago, since I was bored, I started creating some apps and power apps and these kind of things to solve some of the biggest problems in our company. And that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake, because you got this moment where everybody is impressed by what you're doing, and this bam moment, you know, everybody thinks that's a good thing, but it's not. Then the people started pressuring you, having expectations, wanting more from you. And if you don't fit then in their little world, which is stupid, it's just stupid, you fail with something you actually put all your energy in just for free, just for fun. And that's the problem. That's what was the click moment in my head, you know. I also at work, how I really need to make 10 steps back, also on my carnivore journey, 10 steps back, and just look at the whole picture. And that's what I realized. I do too much. I do just too much. I really need to step back and take a little bit more appreciation in what I'm having right now, and just shut the fuck up. And it's difficult for me because I'm a troubleshooter. I do shoot troubles. You know, that's what my expertise. I see problems, I see solutions, I create solutions. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm also should get paid, but I'm not getting paid for that. Actually, they pay me for other stuff, which is just inefficient. And I don't like inefficiency. And that's why I create efficiency. And then these people are entitled to my work and my brain and my creativity, and they are destroying it with really stupidity. It's just stupid what they're saying. It's just not efficient. And if you try to explain idiots, leaders who never work their, a day of their life and just get money because they're political, and but how the people work every day, because I see it, I'm sitting next to them, I see how they're doing it, so I know what they need and I talk to them, but they don't talk to these people, and they think they know what is wrong, and I try to explain it in different kind of variations, and they just don't listen. And that's what put me into the stress situation. They're destroying my hard work and my creativity and my passion, which I had. And that's why I need to make 10 steps back and take myself back and say, you know what, I did a mistake. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not capable. I'm really bad at it. I think you should hire somebody who's to just do these things, and I'm going back to my work and do my space. That's what I'm trying now to get out of this situation, but it's hard because it's not my character. And the same thing applies to my carnivore action. It's as soon as I had this Dr. Chaffee's protocol and these kind of things, it's just put me back 100 steps in I enjoy this journey. I enjoy all these moments I have. I enjoy all of my tweaks and my little things that I'm having, but still feeling good about myself because I manage one day or a few hours to be good, or, having little progresses and not, always reaching for more and more and better and less and lie and diet and these kind of things. I just don't want to, I work the best if I have freedom and I feel free, and I'm so happy that I realized this. And I think that's the most important part for everybody, just to realize, to let go sometimes, to let go, to feel more, I don't know, just to enjoy the journey and not the goal. I think that's so important, and that's what I really learned now the hard way, and that's why I'm feeling so good right now. I have now, on one day more tomorrow left for a free day, and I just want to calm myself down and go 10 steps back as soon as I'm in the office, and just try to get rid of these things and just think about how to get rid of these moments and these people and these pressure I created myself, actually. And also with the carnivore journey, yesterday I went these 10 steps back, and I implemented again the dairy just for 2 days, and my protein pudding, and my my pork rinds with whipped cream and milk and cinnamon, which tasted like cinnamonies, and I just overeat on them, and I feel so good because I'm not craving it at all. It just didn't trigger my addiction. I was eating like I'm full, and even had some fruits, but I didn't like it then. So I just ate in the carnivore world so much until I really felt sick even, and my stomach was bloated, and yes, not the good part, but I felt better because today the only thing that I'm craving is meat, and the only thing, and I stopped my meat aversion. Just 2 days of this milk dairy part overeating, also my protein pudding, which is highly processed. I don't fucking care, because 2 days were enough not get me out of the wagon and just bring me back to carnivore, craving meat. And also now it's 9:30, so I'm not hungry. I'm not that hungry, and I was eating at 6 a.m. the last couple of days, and I'm not that tired anymore, and I'm just feeling again a little bit more like myself. And that's what I'm the most thankful for, having this kind of journey. And I hope it gives you a little bit of a better impression of what and how I think. And I always think that you just need to understand yourself and reflect what's working for you in the end, and why we all are so different. And if you really want something, just to enjoy the ride and not the goal. And just, I think that's the most important part I can give you as the learning effect. And you saw how much I learned, in a couple of years. And it was just, the last couple of years of my life before, it was just even worse. So I think this is the most thing I can give you. Just never give up, but enjoy the ride. really enjoy it. Enjoy the trees you are traveling to your destination, and enjoy the moments you have maybe with your kids in the car playing something fun until you arrive somewhere, you know what I mean? And then enjoy also being there, just being there, not just what should we do next, what should we now to make it now, and what is our next goal, our next destination, our next thing. Just, you know, just be, try to be. And I talked now longer than ever, and it's completely out of topic, but I hope somebody of you will, you know, get something out of it. And I'm happy to hear how your guys are doing, and what your biggest goals and regrets and things are. It's just, you know, would be very interesting to know. And now I'm going to bring back my table, which is broken, and we took hours to build it up. So yeah, it's not working. So yeah, great. See you tomorrow like always. Bye.